Near, 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 rip a hole in the sun. Welcome to Cum Paude. Why would you cum soft when you can cum louder? Yeah.
Welcome to Cum Paude. Cum Laude. Happy Friday to everybody. This is our first off-season edition Paude for what will be our fifth season of Dynasty, coming off of a hot win from Scooter Top G, the Bermuda Talongals, taking down the Pubic Medusas, but really taking down the Haktuas in the championship, but ending the reign of the Pubic Medusas with two in a row. Scooter trying to make this year his second in a row to begin his dynasty run as it is. I had to get an episode out here because the free agent market is heating up. We've seen a lot of deals, a lot of players shift. So I figured why not talk about the impacts that we've seen so far to each fantasy owner's teams as we prepare to get into the NFL draft, which I'm sure everybody is really looking forward to. April 24th on Thursday, we will see where the Ashton Janties of the world, the Tetoria McMillans land, and any of those other players that folks have been eyeing for that first round of our fantasy draft. So let's kick right in. Let's start with the Scooter Top G's. Let's see how his team has been impacted so far by free agency. DeAndre Hopkins chasing those rings, rejoining Derrick Henry in the Baltimore Ravens hood, joining Lamar Jackson. Little hookup. Sounds like a good deal. Sounds like a great flex play for the Scooter Top G. Better watch out for those long balls for that tall guy. AJ Dillon, maybe not as big of a splash, but backing up Saquon Barkley. Combined, they can squat 1,300 pounds. They've got the biggest thighs in the league. So when you're talking tush push, there's going to be a little bit extra push in the tush coming there in Philadelphia for AJ Dillon. Rico Dowdle really made a good, strong case for himself last year in Dallas, gets moved over to Carolina. Is he going to sit behind Chuba Hubbard? Jonathan Brooks probably not going to get healthy enough this year, unfortunately. Sorry, comes with that late season knee injury. But Rico is going to get a chance there in Carolina to battle with Chuba Hubbard. Kenneth Gainswell came over in that Justin Jefferson trade, just sweetened that deal just enough for the JJCD swap, adding Gainwell in there. He's moving over into Pittsburgh. Vacancy from Najee Harris. Now, of course, Jalen Warren is still there, but hey, getting some opportunities. And there you go. Scooter with 4 moves so far that have played a role there towards their team, and we'll see how that shakes up. DeAndre Hopkins probably the biggest one. Well, Rico could be a big one too. Come sale, Sam Darnold, really the a big reason last year that Come sale performed as well as they did, because Caleb just didn't put it together as we thought. Caleb might be bigger this year, so we'll see if the Come sale has to lean on Sam Darnold again. But Sam is in Seattle. Seattle loses 2 of their prime receivers. Still got JSN out there, but we'll see if Sam Darnold can put together another season where Cum has a decent backup to Caleb if Caleb still is struggling. But it sounds like Ben Johnson's going to make it work there in Chicago. So Sam Darnold may not be needed. A big one, though, Devontae Adams signing the deal with the LA Rams. Vacancy from Cooper Kupp. He's going to be there alongside Puka Kua. And see what can happen there with Matt Stafford. Probably a good fit. Should be a better season than last year. He definitely picked it up big time towards the end of the season. They're really flowing with A-Rod as a Jet, but getting back to the West Coast where he likes to be and getting sling balls from Matt Stafford should be a good fit there for Devontae. And a big question mark right now, Nicholas Chubby. Nicholas Chubby is a free agent, testing the markets. He's been out there for a little bit, so we'll see what teams have interest in, who is still an incredibly powerful, successful runner, but has had a couple of very gruesome knee injuries in his career. He's still got some youth on him. So we'll see if some team goes out and grabs him. He really, in my opinion, should still be a lead back on a team, but we see running back by committee all over the place. So hopefully that Chubb can find a landing spot in the next few days, or at least before the start of the season. We'll move on to the Flaming John Arias. Big moves here for the Flaming John Arias. We've seen his his running back room really flame out here recently with Najee Harris just not being able to put it together in Pittsburgh. If you need 3 yards, you can get 3 yards, nothing more, nothing less. Najee moves over to the LA Chargers, who was filled by J.K. Dobbins last year, who is a free agent now, has not been re-signed, and they got rid of Gus Edwards. So that looks to be Najee's chance, 1-year deal to make it happen in LA. We all know that they are going to be a heavy run offense as they were last year with their offensive coordinator and a stout offensive line. Javonte Williams moves from Denver, tries to reestablish his career in Dallas. He will be sharing a backfield now that has been vacated by both Rico Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott, but sharing a backfield with Miles Sanders. We'll talk about that a little bit, but Javonte trying to get a little bit more life. So we'll see what the Flaming John Arias plans to do. Offer that as trade bait, try to get younger, see if some of these running back poor teams that are in need of filling flex spots, getting a third back. Some of you might even need a second running back. So those are some 2 good options and 2 what should be decent offenses. And the free agent still standing out there, Deontay Johnson. Will anybody sign Deontay Johnson? Seems like a great player with it all together up there above his shoulders. So I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to sign Deontay Johnson. Quality player there. But John Aria, 2 big running back moves, which running back moves our bowels and really makes the league work as running backs. Let's talk about my team. Why not? I saved myself to 4th on the list, but there's been a lot going on in the Dame clubhouse. So first, before free agency even opens up, Deebo Samuel somehow went on Slim Fast or something and got the attention of the Washington Commanders, signs a great deal with the Commanders. Should be a potent offense depending on how they use him, see if he's still got any gas left in the tank. Had a great season 4 years ago, but then just got beat to hell in that Shanahan offense. So who knows if he's got anything left. But I'm sure Harry Sharton would love to make a deal for Deebo Samuel. Eyes and ears are open. DK Metcalf, another splash. DK goes to Pittsburgh. We don't know who his quarterback's going to be yet. As of right now, it's Mason Rudolph, which, hey, Mason has proven that he is so good that he can start in the fantasy championship game. He's that good that you would start him in the fantasy championship game. That's not a knock. That was a last ditch effort. You got to start somebody, but Mason did make it into that, so I can't go without saying that. So 2 big moves with wide receivers, Deebo going to the Commanders, DK going to Pittsburgh, and free agents for the Dames is a problem right now. Cooper Kupp has not signed. We should see a signing today or in the coming days. It looks like Cowboys are a front runner right now for Kupp. That would be an interesting matchup with CD Lamb there. J.K. Dobbins is a free agent. We'll see if the Chargers make him a smaller deal to bring him back after a really good season last year, but he did sustain a small knee injury towards the end of the season. He did come back for the playoff push that they try to make. And then Aaron Rodgers is on the Dames, and it's looking like he might go to Pittsburgh. It would be more fun if he went to Minnesota and continued that Favre push at, Green Bay, New York, Minnesota. That would be awesome if that happened, but I'm not sure that will. It looks like Pittsburgh's going to be the answer. It's really in his court, it sounds like. Over to Brian, the Geno sides. Geno moved. Geno sides with the Las Vegas Raiders, moving from Seattle, going to Las Vegas, reuniting with Pete Carroll. Should be a good fit there. A lot of quarterback action here for the Geno sides. Matt Stafford stays in LA. There were some question marks of whether or not he would remain in LA Ram, and they did make the push and re-signed him, and he just got Devontae Adams. So that sounds like a really good opportunity. Might be a tough decision between Geno and Matt Stafford, but I think he probably got to run with Stafford for the majority of the year, but we'll see how that shakes out. Russ Wilson, still a free agent. Does not seem like he's going to go back to Pittsburgh. Cleveland is a possibility. That'd be fun. And the New York Giants could be a possibility as well. So I think we'll see how the Rodgers and the Russ Wilson contracts shake out in the next day. Hopefully, maybe today. That would be pretty cool. Or the next week. And let's just stick with the quarterback theme here with Gina's side. This isn't really it's related to Darnold escaping Minnesota. Not escaping, honestly. It's probably worse opportunity for him in Seattle, but hell, he got paid, so good for him. But JJ McCarthy, no competition right now. We'll see if Minnesota goes and tries to sign a veteran to give JJ somebody to sit behind or learn, but it might be might be JJ's show if he's healthy and good to go. We know he has the assets to throw the ball too. So JJ McCarthy, genocide, has had all 4 of his quarterbacks kind of impacted by free agency. Let's talk about the Hammies. Hammies got some interesting moves as well. Mike Williams reunites with the Los Angeles Chargers, so that should be good for him. Good 1-year deal. Big, tall, down the field threat. Didn't really do too much with the Jets, but he's coming back to the Chargers. Christian Kirk signs with the Houston Texans, so filling that Steph Diggs void at this point. Going to be matched up there with Nico Collins and CJ Stroud throwing the ball. 2 free agents right now. Tyler Lockett was released. He's getting older, but I'm sure there's still a lot of game left in him. And I'm sure there's some teams out there that need that third down receiver that has 0 yak, a guy that just catches it and falls down, because that's why he's still in the league and playing, because he does not like to get hit, just lays down. But Tyler Lockett should find a new home. And Keenan Allen is a free agent. He had his little stint there with Chicago, and waiting to see if Keenan Allen has any more life left in those legs to continue playing. The Pubic Medusas had a couple of signings. Elijah Mitchell gets new life, goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. So it's a little bit of a crowded backfield over there right now between Pacheco, Elijah Mitchell, and Kareem Hunt. So we'll see how that shakes out in training camp. Demarcus Robinson signs with San Francisco, filling that gap from Debo. We'll see what kind of role is played there. Got him on the cheap. Jordan Mason also tenders to re-sign, so more solid backup there for Christian McCaffrey. There are some talks about Christian McCaffrey potentially moving. The way the San Francisco office has been gutting it, likely to try to pay Brock Purdy money, is, are they in a rebuild? So if they are, is it time to cut ties with Christian McCaffrey? There's talks of him maybe going to Denver, going back home from where he lived with his daddy, Eddie. So we'll see what shakes out there. But for right now, the Medusas gets confirmation on Jordan Mason re-sign. We'll see if Isaac Garindo and Jordan Mason split those backup duties. Free agents right now. Right now it's Amari Cooper. He had that little failed stint in Buffalo, and didn't make the most of it. And he is now a free agent. But again, similar to Tyler Lockett, Keenan Allen, you got to think that somebody's going to sign a wily veteran. Maybe not wily, but a veteran that has the skill to make an impact for your team, at least a presence on the field with good football knowledge. So Amari Cooper, we'll see where he will land. Maybe he goes back to Cleveland. He'd probably love that, especially if Danger Russ goes there. Wilkes Tooth needed some of that running back help. It was kind of barren on the running back situation throughout the year. So Miles Sanders lands in Dallas. Yes, he's going to be competing with Javonte Williams, and Miles is probably getting a little long in the Wilkes tooth, but still kind of young, I think. But so Miles Sanders, a new lease on life there in Dallas. Chris Godwin re-signs in Tampa, so that's good. Godwin was having a fantastic season last year before the injury, so re-signing with Tampa, continue that reign there with Mike Evans, adding in Jalen McMillan. They're going to have another strong offense. Bucky Irving's so, but their wide receivers are at least good. And then the free agent outstanding for Wilkes too, Jameis Winston. Somebody needs Jameis Winston. He's either we've got the big teams, we've got the Cleveland Browns. We saw how that went. Jameis is going to just chuck it. So if Jameis goes somewhere, you hope to have those wide receivers, because they're going to get a lot of action. New York Giants, that would be fun. Jameis in New York, getting those press conferences, I think would make my day, just watching Jameis every single day talking to New York press. But Jameis is the free agent to keep an eye on there for Wilkes Tooth. Not a big impact. You might not start him, but hey, if injuries happen and you want a guy that's going to be chucking the ball and you can eat those interceptions amidst a hell of a lot of yardage, then put them in there. All hail ESPN. Alexander Madison moves to Miami. So a little bit of a crowded backfield, but that was made a little bit thinner by Raheem Mostert being released. He joins Devin Achane and Jalen Wright there in Miami. Adam Thielen re-signs in Carolina. Oh, Danny Jones. So obviously all hail ESPN rolling with Pat Mahomes. Pat had a little bit of a down year. We'll see if he bounces back. He's probably going to be angry from losing that Super Bowl and is going to want to push real hard and have a good year. But maybe it's about time for ESPN to thinking about using some trade bait. There's some teams out there that probably like Mahomes as their starting quarterback, would pay a pretty penny, but the backup is Danny Jones. Danny Jones is going to be battling Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis for that starting gig, which those two had the bottom two QBRs last year. So great battlegrounds for that. I don't know. They're the same quarterback. They're run first quarterbacks. So we'll see how that shakes out. Brandon Cooks does not have a team right now. So that's what ESPN's got to keep an eye on, is whether Brandon Cooks retires or is going to land somewhere along the lines of, Lockett, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Steph Diggs, that sort of thing. Talking about Steph Diggs, let's talk about the Bussy. Really, Steph Diggs is the only one on your team right now who's looking to find a home, similar to Deontay Johnson. Really got it all going on above the shoulders, quality individual to have on your team and your clubhouse. Injury stopped it there in Houston, but Bussy, threw the line out there and got him on the cheap. So we'll see where Steph ends up and hopefully can have a productive career and good return on investment for the Bus. Hawk Tua, not huge impacts, but Gus Edwards was released. So Gus, I'm not sure if Gus finds another team or finds more action, but he could be one of those spellbacks or goal line Hawks somewhere. Probably not enough to warrant putting him in a free agent or put him in your fantasy starting lineup, but we'll see what happens with Gus. And then currently has the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers in Mason Rudolph. We talked about Mason earlier. Good enough to start in the championship round last year. Good enough for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So go Mason Rudolph. We got three more teams here to go through, and that's Laporta Potties. Really kind of a big deal here. Justin Fields goes to the New York Jets. They like his style. They're paying him appropriate money, maybe a little bit too much. But we'll see what Justin does. He got overshadowed last year by Danger Rush, didn't get all the opportunities that he did. He's going to get a shot here in New York, unless they go and do something wild there in the draft and go for Shadir or Kamothy Ward or something along those lines. But Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, it's a quick offense. It's the Jets, but already got Jared Goff, and this Detroit Lions fan is not going to bench Jared Goff. So Justin Fields with Laporta Potty going to the Jets. That's a big deal there. Beth's healthy twins, really just two moves there. Running backs, of course, Raheem Mostert goes to Las Vegas, gets out of Miami. That's probably good news for healthy twins. He'll hear about this in a few months leading up to our rookie draft, because that's when he studies. He gets about 2 hours before the draft and crams all of this knowledge that I'm sharing today into that. Mostert goes to the Rams. Ezekiel Elliott, no team right now. Does he retire? Does he still want to play? Does he find a new home? It's hard to say with Zeke Elliott, but that's where the Twins are sitting. And one more team, huge impact. That's the Doge City Dogecoins. Mac Jones, San Francisco, signed by San Francisco, going to play back up to Broccoli Purdy, unless somebody swoops in and pays Broccoli Purdy different kinds of money. But I'm going to assume that John Lynch is going to fold like a lawn chair and pay that Iowa boy some money that he's earned it, but probably more than he's worth at this point. Let's be honest. So that's where we're at right now. We've got some big names still out there. We've already talked about Cooper Kupp, Tyler Lockett, Nick Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, Russ Wilson, Steph Diggs, Mari Cooper, Kyle Juszczyk. That's another one I'm very sad about as a Niners fan. Very, very sad. Maybe he'll be able to reunite with the Ravens. That'd be cool. Jameis Winston, Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, and Aaron Rodgers. So maybe we'll see some deals here today or in the coming weeks as that shakes out. Pretty cool. Excited about this. So we got the draft coming up, the NFL draft coming up April 24th. I don't believe we have an established date just yet for our rookie draft or an established location. We might move it. Last year we had it there in Finkstown at the Doge House of the Doge. there may be some reasons that we might go back to Nicholas's law office and have a draft like we did a few years ago. So excited for that. We'll work on getting that date. Really, we know who the top 101 is going to be. Some question marks at 102. Probably shouldn't be, but year over year we've had that established 101. We know how it's going to shake out, but really we don't know anything until we see landing spots. So really looking for that April 24th first round, second rounds of the draft to see where some of these skilled position players go. We'll see a couple of them fall in the first round, but most of them will likely fall into second, third, and later. So you can get them dart throws in the third round. And then another housekeeping item, we've got our conditional picks for getting rid of defense special teams out of the league. So we talked about that on a previous Paude. We'll share that again of what that order looks like, but that's either going to look like a fourth round the night of the draft or pitching to everybody. Maybe we'll put this to the league vote, but having a supplemental 1 round draft getting up into the training camp timeframe around preseason football. So you get right before Fab opens up, we'll do another draft with that conditional round, 14 picks that you received for the performance of your defense special teams of last year. And that's about that. Excited for free agency. We'll see where some of these other big names land. And good luck to you all. March Madness is coming up. Selection Sunday is this weekend. Ram it! Good night, Fermi.
Thank you for listening to the official podcast of the Public Honors College Fantasy Football League. Cum quickly, cum often, and cum loud.